Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. Today we are discussing a most luxurious Seamaster. This is the Omega Seamaster Aqua Terra annual calendar in rose gold. You can see and you can own this 43mm annual calendar coaxial chronometer on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos, and please click on the card in the upper right hand corner of the screen at any time during this video to see our full sales listing for this watch with additional accessories included in the sale, high resolution images for your desktop, and naturally complete pricing details for this Omega Seamaster Aqua Terra 43mm in 18 karat red gold. Now the watch on my wrist is exceptionally handsome, and I'm sorry to say that my light box doesn't do full justice to it. There's something about the rich interplay of the brown leather, the red gold case, the red gold appliques of the dial, the hands, and the silvered teak deck concept vertically striated from 12 to 6 that doesn't translate on YouTube video. Take my word for it, this watch has presence with a capital P. But let's talk about the fit and the feel first, because no matter how striking, a watch has to feel good as well as look good. It's a 43mm watch, which means it's big, but this is a very compact and wearable 43. I can't comfortably wear a Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Offshore 42 on most straps, which means that for a watch that's 43 to fit my wrist, it has to have something special going on. And what's special is the close cropped measurement from lug to lug. 51.3mm, very reasonable with short and tightly downturned lugs. You can see, though it pushes to the edge of my wrist because it does sort of drape itself down at the edges, it doesn't appear to flare out awkwardly. I believe on a wrist as small as 15 centimeters in circumference you could wear this watch easily. It's also helped by the fact that at 14.7mm thick, it's not nearly as girthy as you might suspect for what is effectively a sports watch complication. You'll also note that the generous slope of the bezel, which is about 2mm high, means that you will easily fit the watch underneath a suit jacket, a sport jacket, a blazer sleeve. So this is a very good companion for most wrists in formal attire or casual. The watch, of course, featuring a strap worthy of a case in dramatic 18 karat and a dial of spectacular nautically inspired teak deck. This is a strap that is substantial without being outlandish. There's nothing garish about the matte finish of this rectangular scale dark brown alligator strap. It is bolstered generously to match the swell of the lugs. There's a folded edge. The monotone stitch flanks both sides of the gaiter, and then on the back you can see that it has a supple calf skin. It terminates in a strap to clasp junction that's remarkably clean, I have to say. The way the strap joins with the clasp is both flush and perfectly fitted. That's impressive in its own right. The clasp is substantial, as you can see, double finished. It is a satin finish on the inside with even a little bit of engine turned perlage detailing, thoughtfully made and very substantial. Because it's so hefty, once this watch is buckled on your wrist, the clasp is going to act as a counterweight to the watch head, preventing it from moving unduly if you like to wear your watch loose. It's basically like a keel to a sailboat, keeping the whole array upright. I'll also add that the clasp, which features twin trigger actuation, is going to stay shut. Triggers mean security and peace of mind, so your clasp is not going to pop open. That's how every heavy and valuable sports watch should be made. Now you can see that there's a minderless system that tucks the strap length beneath the body of the clasp, keeping the look clean. There are no minder loops, and all excess is going to be invisible once the watch is buckled on your wrist. Though we know this case form well, it's essentially the generic beveled Omega sports watch case. It does have a few refinements that set it apart. The Aqua Terras, not being of the professional persuasion, they aren't part of the Planet Ocean and 300-meter lines, and their rotating bezels and their large shouldered crown guards. So you get a watch that's perhaps more closely aligned with the original 1948 Seamaster, the reference 2518, which was essentially just a highly water-resistant dress watch. This watch is that. With 150 meters water-resistant, the case is both tough and elegant. More water resistance than you'll ever need for getting dressed up or simply bathing in the surf or taking a splash in the pool. It does feature a handsome double finish with polish and a satin finish on the case band that breaks up the massive metal and imparts an elegance to the watch. The dial, too, is nicely detailed with a strong balance. Colored gold is powerful. Colored gold in a 43mm case can overwhelm. The fact that this watch is more warm than imposing really is a testament to the I wouldn't call it a compromise, but the optimization that Omega designers managed to achieve. And the dial shows that to good effect. Silver is cool, austere. It's not my first choice for a watch in colored gold. I'd like to see something a little bit more dark, a little bit more intense. But here it works well because the actual geometries are very strong. You have a sharp lip to the seconds and minutes track outboard. You have those strong and deep grooves running top to bottom. Each one of the individual appliques is nicely diamond polished. You can see best at the top of the dial that they are mirror faceted, so the detailing, which is executed by hand, is quite impressive. Now they're also quite high, raised above the plane of the dial, so the dial has a distinct three-dimensional look to it. It doesn't seem flat as so many silver dials can. Finally, the apertures for the annual calendar are simple to read and simple in array. You have your month, you have your date. You adjust it once a year during the jump from February to March. That's an annual calendar. Though there are no crown guards, you'll note that there is a little bit of a countersink to the crown to integrate it into the case band. It's aesthetically more pleasing than if it's stuck out. The watch also features a case back that's designed to be seen and appreciated. Now, the annual calendar 8611, first and foremost, features a 18-karat gold full balance bridge. That is a refinement reserved for only a few special pieces in the Omega catalog. So a full gold bridge, it features the same arabesque Côte de Genève across the bridges and the winding mass. You can see it's beautifully aligned from the bridges to the balance bridge. All the screws are blackened rather than polished or blued. You can see it's a free-sprung balance beating away at 25,200 vibrations per hour, characteristic of the Omega coaxial calibers, and of course it is free sprung, so between the balance bridge and the free sprung architecture it's very shock resistant. Thanks to the Si14 silicon hairspring, it's highly anti-magnetic. Now it is a coaxial chronometer, which means it has the tri-level coaxial system, effectively a couple of escape wheels stacked on top of each other with a multi-level anchor. It uses a combination of a single purpose Paul jewels and a tangential contact. When I say single-purpose Paul jewels, I mean each one essentially moves in one direction and has one tangential contact with a different plane of the multi-level but coaxial escape wheel. That's why it's called a coaxial escapement. Again, this is one to Google. I can't fully describe it without giving you a picture. Just know it makes the watch very accurate and very reliable in the long term and the short. Now, the watch also features twin mainspring barrels, which you can see poking out at the top of the barrel bridge for a 60-hour power reserve and very even torque release throughout the autonomy of the watch. Now, 60-hour power reserve and even torque release, that means that the watch is a very consistent COSC certified Swiss chronometer throughout its full power reserve. So it's a chronometer, it's coaxial, it's also a superb power reserve of 60 hours. It features hacking seconds, so you can stop the balance and halt the seconds hand. You can also double quickset the date and the month. So the month and the date can both be rapidly cycled by pulling the crown to the intermediate position and moving it in both directions. This is a watch that fires on all cylinders, aesthetically, ergonomically, and engineering. This is a watch that brings it all to the table and reminds us in pointed fashion why Omega still has more than a leg up on Rolex by dint of the simple fact that they let you see the movement for which you've paid your money. So points to Omega on that front. In every other respect, this is a dress watch that shouldn't be compared to other Seamasters, frankly, but should be compared on a price point basis with haute de gamme sports watches from the likes of Audemars Piguet or aggressive oversized references from Hublot. Frankly, I think you get more value for your money here. You certainly get complication and engineering that only a powerhouse group like Swatch or Rolex could put together. Frankly, give me the Omega every time. See it and decide for yourself on our website.